Well, welcome class. Today I'm going to introduce you to the chemistry rules and regulations for class. And I decided to create a video for this, just not knowing if a kid was going to miss or what's going to happen. So we're going to try to do videos for lectures this year, and then we'll be able to discuss them in class. So if the whole concept of online learning freaks you out, don't worry. You'll be in person. We'll be able to go over stuff in class. It should be great. Okay, so basically my school, for all my classes, AP, regular honors, I have three different preps. I've taught all different levels. I have over 22 years of experience teaching students your age this awesome topic of chemistry. So I used to have all of these lists of rules, but I kind of broke it down into 4 rules. Rule number 1 is remember the golden rule. Okay, so the golden rule from back in the day is treat others how you would like to be treated. So in this classroom, I'm going to respect you. Um, I expect you to respect me, and I expect you to respect others as well. So one of the ways that we can respect each other is by wearing our masks. I do not want to be mask police this year, so just keep your mask on. There's in some of the classes we have 25 students, so there's no way to physically distance yourself. So you got to keep your mask on over your nose and make sure it's an appropriate mask. So if I have to be mask police, we will eventually remove you from class. So please don't mess around with that. My second rule is be on time and be ready. So make sure you're not late. Make sure you're on time. You have an extra 2 minutes. So there'll be some specific dismissal things that you'll get to work with. Third, this was on a t-shirt a while back, and I just love the concept. Do work. Like, just do what you're supposed to do. Do your stuff, mind your business, complete all the things, and you'd be surprised this class is awesome when you do that. And then number 4, relentlessly exceed all expectations of yourself. I put this one in too because I feel like you're at the point in your life where you start to figure things out. You're starting to think about what college to go to, what major to go to, and there's no room for messing around anymore, guys. So it's time to exceed your expectations. I've had students that get straight C's in bio, and then they realize, hey, I can do chemistry, get all A's. So what that you struggled in science or math last year? Exceed your expectations. Do better than you thought you could, and you'll be surprised at what happens this year. Okay, now a couple things on COVID-19 and school. So, all right. So this is going to be a tough year. It's going to be tough because there's so many challenges. So one of the things that, if you look at my classroom, it's kind of set up as spread out as possible, and it's a double class, so it is a big class. But one of the things that we have to do is you're going to be sitting next to a person, so that for that reason you have to wear a mask the whole time. Now this is still up to debate on whether or not you can take a mask break, but here's what I'm going to do. If you need a mask break, I'll let you step outside for a moment, take your mask off, compose yourself. But and just ask permission for that. But for the most part, you got to find a way to keep it on. And it's going to take a while. And I've been here a week, and I'm still learning. But you can do it, and we can all do it. And if this means that we can have normal school, then it's totally worth it. Also, at the end of class, you're going to spray off your tables and wash your hands. So I have a sink in the room and a hand sanitizer. So you can use either one. And I have spray available, and you're just going to spray it down and help me wash them off. C, so they're going to dismiss students in staggered amounts. So each class will kind of differ. And so just wait till you are dismissed. The biggest thing is that we don't congregate at doors. You can't crowd around anymore. You don't want to end up having, which I'll talk about for E, in the event that you're exposed, you could end up on quarantine. So that means is that you might not be sick, but you might have to be quarantined at home. This has happened all over the states right now. So we don't want you to end up having to miss school. So I believe right now, if your mask is on, if you're socially distant, you could probably avoid that quarantine. So yeah, this is going to be great. So anyways, make sure that you stay socially distant at all times. Make sure you keep your mask. And this is kind of back to that follow the golden rule. Like, you wouldn't want to expose someone else. And so if you're sick, honestly, stay home. Most of the lessons will be available online. And, that's a good thing. So we'll be able to get you caught up. Secondly, lastly, you need to be really flexible this year and kind. This is going to be a historic school year in so many ways. And this, just because there's challenges, it doesn't mean that we can't do this. And I know it's horrible to say, but we are in this together. If we can keep our masks on, if we can stay socially distant, if we can prevent outbreaks, then we can stay together as long as possible, and then we don't have to do remote learning because that stunk. All right, and I'll make it as fun as possible, but let's try to stay together for real as long as possible. All right, so this brings us to attendance. So attendance, if you are sick or possibly sick, you can stay at home. Again, I'm going to kind of supplement. I'm almost going to flip my classroom this year where a lot of these lectures are going to be introduced online, just like this. And so, stay home. We'll get you caught up. If you're in doubt, stay home. In addition to that, like, school has to be kind of reimagined right now. And so some of the teachers aren't completely comfortable, but I'm going to try. We're going to have a paperless classroom, so I'm not going to pass things out. You're going to need to use your laptop. If you feel like you need a different device, you could use an iPad or something like that. But everything will be submitted virtually, and I will grade it virtually. And so my laptop is going to be my trusty, way to get through school this year. But we're going to use an app called Kami, and some of you may have done something like this, but basically Kami handles all of it. You get a copy of it. You can actually edit it. You don't have to take pictures of it. It's super easy. You could use Adobe Scan. So there's an app that you can use that you can just scan things. So there'll be times that I pass a paper out to you, but you do not have to turn it in unless it's digital. So don't turn a paper copy into me. I'm going to do all digital or non-collecting of paper. This means that even your lab notebook will most likely be online, which is something brand new for me. And again, this whole remote learning thing, we had to learn things, we had to get stretched. And that's why I said that it was a tough year last year, but I learned so much. And I think this is going to be cool to do that. So that brings me to the hybrid flip classroom. So a lot of our lectures will be like shortened 10, 15-minute lectures. And I'm going to try not to flip it all the way, but I may flip some of it where I do the lecture the day before and then we discuss it the next day. I don't like to give a ton of homework, maybe 2 or 3 days a week. So what I'm thinking is I'll do the video in class, we'll discuss it, and maybe finish up the problems from there. Okay, so we're going to try a flipped classroom with lots of videos like this. And in the event that we do have to go remote, and there's a high chance we probably will, you'll kind of be used to it, and hopefully, plus, I look so much better without the mask than with the mask, all right? And you can hear me better without the mask. So we'll see how this works. All right. Be flexible. All right. Labs. So the best part of chem is definitely the labs. I mean, you do so many cool labs. I totally want that to happen. We're still trying to figure out how do we share equipment? How do we wear aprons, goggles, and a mask? So we're still working through that, but I'm going to provide some more information about labs, and we'll practice before we get in and do some dangerous labs. But we always teach about lab safety, and so there'll be lab safety and COVID safety this year. All right, so some of you guys are going to be coming in from lunch, which is totally cool, right? Open lunch is awesome. If you are late, you get one late one, and then I start giving attentions. And if you're late according to too many times, you're going to lose that open lunch. So this is for lunch periods, but even this is for any periods. Just try to be on time when you're in the hallway. So avoid crowds again. Come directly in your classroom. You'll have an assigned seat. You'll sit there. Probably you're going to sit there the whole year until this is over. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'll be able to change them. We'll try. We'll see what happens. Again, I'm going to be super flexible as you go. Grades. So you're going to have some quizzes, tests, projects. These will all be online. And then you're going to have some progress grades that will be quizzes, notes, et cetera. So I might assign video notes for homework, or I might assign, a Kami worksheet, and you have to complete it online. Sometimes I do discussion posts online, that kind of stuff. Okay, so we got to keep on top of things with late work. So if you're late, it's 80% off for one day, and then 50% off after one day until the unit assessment. So you want to make sure you stay on top of things. I don't want to have to deal with grading stuff and chasing things down. Now, if you are sick, which that could happen, or you're quarantined, if you miss a day, you have a day to make it up. If you're out for 10 days or something crazy, we'll have to come up with a plan to make up the missing work. All right, grading scale. So that's our normal grading scale. All right, so the locker passes, this is really cool. This is neat this year. So again, they have to kind of monitor in case there's something that happens where people are out at all times. And so what I did, and many of the teachers are doing this, is there is a QR pass right at the door. Okay, see that? So you're going to take your phone You're going to take a picture of it using your QR scanner or Snapchat. It'll take you to a form, and you just fill out the form. And what that form says is your name, where you're going, and it stamps the time. And then when you come back, you click it back again and you sign back in. It's super easy to use. I'm not going to, if I was you, I would go during the class if there's a moment where we have time. I wouldn't go during the hall changes because it's going to be a massive crowd and you want to avoid crowds. Go with the flow and do all those kind of things. Okay, so that's cool, right? And then we have a couple additional rules. All right, so obviously you shouldn't be on your cell phone in class unless you're using the pass, unless unless I tell you to. Okay, so you don't need your cell phone. You need your computer every day. So don't bring your cell phone or just keep it in your pocket. You do it that way. You're going to need a folder or some sort of thing, some paper, because sometimes we'll write it down and I'll check it instead of collecting it, but I'll just do like a clipboard. Sometimes you just need to practice or write it down. So you need a folder. You definitely need a scientific calculator. You're going to need your computer every day. I'm really big about cheating. Like, I think, I learned a lesson early that it gets you nowhere. I know that there's a lot of pressure from parents to get good grades and all that, but it's just not worth it. You're cheating yourself. So I challenge you to do all your own work. And if I find out, you'll both get zeros. So don't let people copy, don't take pictures. If I observe you taking pictures of other people's work or working on it in class, I will notify the teacher. I am not your friend. I'm here to help you and instruct you. And so one of the things in life is that, it's a moral thing. Don't cheat. Don't cheat yourself. Don't cheat other teachers. Just don't cheat. All right. And no talking while I'm talking. So it's a place of respect. I'm totally going to respect you. I'll value each of my students. So there's that. Chem help. So chem's pretty tough and it's normal for students to struggle. So I think what we're going to do is I'll have virtual chem hours or virtual times where you can help. Now I can help you in class. You can come in during a study off if I have extra time. But again, we'll probably do like Zoom help. That's probably the best way to do it. You get bonus points in here for random things. So these go on tickets. These are something you can collect. They're called bonus tickets or chem tickets. So if you do go above and beyond, you can earn these. And they end up being percent on your test. So for example, if you have a 90% and you have put 2 tickets on, you get a 92%. That's pretty sweet, right? So here's a couple things. You can collect them as you go. You can win them in prizes. They can be used on unit tests. They just can't be used on exams or quizzes. Each one is worth 1%. You can put up to 2% on your test. So students love tickets. Retest. All right. So if you really tank a test, that means you get a D or lower. You can retest 1 test per 9 weeks. You have to have all your homework in. You have to find some sort of intervention. And then you have to ask. And you have to ask within a day of getting your test returned. And then you're permitted to retest it. This is more for like, oh my gosh, I was sick. I was way behind. I went through a crisis. So use it for emergencies, but it's there. You're going to have online textbooks, so your backpacks are totally cool. We'll put the backpacks on the side or below you so we don't trip. I did mention that you do need a scientific calculator. A composition book for labs would be good. You could also just use a folder for paper. And then everybody is going to get, so this is how you contact me via email. This is my extension. Now, I want you guys all to log on to your cell phones. This is the time we use that. Or you can do it on your computer. And you need to sign up. So if you text 81010 and the code is and each one is different. So this is regular chem. Honors has a different code. AP has a different code. So just look on your site in Schoology and the code is there. All right, we're going to pause and we'll discuss this. And if you have any questions, let me know.